Alright, here's the video review for NewAge Legendary Heroes 25 and 26, HERBIE and Vanishing Point. HERBIE is the Bumblebee analog, Vanishing Point, the Cliffjumper analog, and in case you couldn't tell from that, me briefly pointing at them, they are very small. I mean, they are smaller than penny racers. They're not quite Micro Machine tiny, but they're getting there. I mean, like, they're not Micro Machine tiny, but they're still very small. Like, here's the two of them. Here they are alongside NewAge's previous Bumblebee figure. And you can see they're significantly smaller than even that one. And that one was already pretty small. Here they are, to really kind of drive this home, here they are next to their War for Cybertron counterparts. And these guys also already fairly small for deluxes, and then these guys are just super teeny. Look at that. They're just so teeny. They're awesome. They're super awesome for the size. They're fantastic. They've been going everywhere with me because they're a lot of fun, even for their small size. So yeah, very cool, very fun. And despite their small size, they're actually got a fairly intricate, a more intricate transformation than you expect from a figure this tiny. Accessories, before we get too far into it, Bumblebee, or HERBIE, he's got kind of the squarish toy-based looking plate here on the back, and you can pop that off and attach a round wheel, if you prefer, to the back of HERBIE. Either one of those. You can also, he comes with a jetpack that you can also attach here in vehicle mode if you want to for some weird reason. I usually just leave this little square one in, but it's up to you. I'll go ahead and just do it with the circle one. I haven't transformed it with the circle one on yet, so let's just do that for this time. But you can swap that out. They also come with weapons, but we'll get to those shortly. And Vanishing Point has the little skids when he was driving across the water. And what I didn't know about this, he's still got a little bit of a sprue mark there. This comes on a sprue. But what I didn't realize at the time was I thought they'd clipped on, but they're actually magnetic. You can actually see the magnet right there in the middle of the skid. But you can, and they stay on pretty well. They will rotate with the wheels. But you just hover them up, and then they kind of will sit flat, and they just magnetize onto the pins holding the wheels on, and there you go. Now he's scooting across the water. That's, like I said, and super easy to take off. I just think that's really cool. I was not expecting them to be magnetic, and then I pulled them out and they started sticking together just like that, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So that's a neat little feature. Wasn't expecting. They both have more or less the same transformation. There's a couple differences on Vanishing Point from HERBIE, but nothing major. It's just a couple little pieces that flip up, and we'll show those off as we transform them. So to start, on both, you bring down the back piece like this, and then kind of untab the sides here, similar to how the original Bumblebee did. And you can see his head and his actual fake chest in there. But flip that all the way around. And then the arms come out like this. Fold that piece down like that. And then you can fold that piece all the way in. And same thing over here. Fold that all the way in like that. That's going to come down into his torso in much the same way that, the rear wheels on the original version did fold up into the body, although albeit in a slightly different manner. And then this just kind of comes down and sits on his back like that. You can put it up high too if you want, but that looks weird. You just plug that into his back like that. Rotate the front end of the vehicle around. And bring the arms down and around. And the fist out. The fist is at an angle. Flip that out. And then rotate this. He does the articulation on this thing. He's got a hinge here, a ball joint here. He actually has a bicep swivel. Has a hinge elbow. The wrists are on a ball joint, so there is some wrist swivel there. The head's on a ball joint, so he can look around. You see the waist swivel, and we haven't even transformed the legs yet. I'm sure these are still in focus. That is a little Toy Hacks label on his chest. That's actually one of the labels. I trimmed off the excess very carefully, but that's actually a Titan Master screw hole Autobot logo there that I've got on him. And bring the legs down, and then kind of bring this panel here to the side, And so you can see that ball joint in the wheel. Bring that out. Same on this. This piece folds down and around, and this little notch here in the thing hooks over that gray tab. That's going to be the back of the leg. So bring that down like that. And then the hood piece opens up here. You kind of rotate it around like that until you have the clearance. This is going to be the back, so rotate it so it looks like that. So this yellow piece is going under the front hood. And then rotate the ankle up. Oh, well, see, sometimes that'll pop off, but it's a ball joint. But yeah, you basically just want to get that so it comes up like that. And then you can rotate the leg around. It doesn't matter what order you do it in. Rotate it so the gray's facing forward. Fold that panel in. And there is one leg. And we're going to do the same over here. Rotate it. Open up the hood here. And kind of rotate this panel up and around. That can come up a little bit more so you have the clearance to. Again, normally they don't pop off like that. But it's the magic of me trying to do a video. Just make sure you have the clear. Oh yeah, it also helps if you don't hold on to the wheel. That's one of the things I keep doing. I hold it like this, and that's why I'm popping the ball joint out, because that wheel needs to move freely. And then fold that up, fold that around. You can see he does kind of have his windshields on the back of his feet. But bring that all the way down. And look, there he is in robot mode. Super teensy, and like I said, ball joint head. Ball joint shoulders, the swivel there at the body, bicep swivel, hinge elbow to a pretty decent range, ball joint wrist, waist swivel, got ball joint hips as well as a bit of an ab crunch. He's got a thigh swivel, a hinge knee. Granted, the panel there, you can move that panel out of the way if you want more range, but it does have a hinge knee and a ball joint at the ankle on a very teensy figure. And he has a small pistol that you can give him if you want. And there is Herbie. Vanishing Point, much the same. Same basic process. Fold this panel down, pull these side panels out and around like this, and then bring the arms forward at the shoulders. If you want to, you can already go ahead and start. As I pull them out, I usually straighten the fists out as well, because it's an easy motion to do. And then fold these panels down. Then flip the whole thing around like this. Rotate the front half of the car. And then this little panel, here's the difference. This little spoiler panel flips up on his chest. Bring the arm down and again around. Make sure the ball joint faces the inside of the arm, but again, it's an easy rotation. There at the bicep swivel to make that happen. And the legs are the exact same thing, just a slightly more squared off here at the top. You just bring them down. Open them up, rotate this little panel around and out to the side, open up the hood, and that'll rotate up. And then again, don't hold on to that wheel, and then it's generally a pretty easy thing to rotate that piece up without popping it off. It's the wheel that does it. And then rotate this piece around so it clips there onto the back of the leg. Rotate it around at the thigh. You're done with one, and the same thing over here. Bring that down around on the ball joint, lift that up, open up this, bring it up, rotate the whole thing up, wrap it around the foot, bring the leg around, and rotate that panel on the thigh, or the back of the calf, I guess, around. And come here, you. Keep rotating, there we go. And onto that. Oh, if that pops off, that is also on a ball joint. And flatten everything together. And there is Vanishing Point. And again, all the same articulation, hinge knees, ball joints, everything. Has a longer cannon that can go in his hand. If you want to have him, if you want it to be like more of the bazooka type thing, it does have an attachment for the end of it. It only goes on one way. Make sure you're lining up. This little fin right here has a groove in the back of this, so plug that in. He can lay down, and he's got his bazooka. And there they are. And like I said, you can, if in robot mode, you can pop. Unfortunately, the Vanishing Point doesn't have the port peg hole, but you can give him a jetpack if you want. Plug that in. But there he is with the circular back. And if you choose, you can leave on the square back as well. It's up to you. But there they are. There they are in their little teensy posable robot modes. And again, just to give you an idea of the size of just how small these things are. Here they are with, again, the previous Bumblebee they did. Here they are with NewAge's version of Prowl. So you can see they're very small, even compared. And then here they are with their, again, their War for Cybertron selves. They are very, very minuscule, but they are so super fun. And like I said, I do highly recommend, if you've got the chance, pick them up. They come in this tiny little box, both of them in a 2-pack. And just fantastic. Just absolutely fantastic. And I can't believe they managed to fit that transformation that is both easy and that complicated into such a tiny, tiny little robot. But yeah, they're super cool. Absolutely worth it. That is NewAge Legendary Warriors, HERBIE and Vanishing Point. I can't speak highly enough of them. Like they feel, again, Vanishing Point, this hip is slightly looser than both the hips on HERBIE, but not anything I'm worried about. Despite all of these tiny, tiny little joints, nothing felt forced. Nothing felt like, oh, if I push this too hard, it's going to break. I mean, be careful with them. Don't throw them across the room or be rough with them because they are small. But at no point did I feel like I was going to break anything at any point when I was learning how to transform these things. They're very well made and just superposable. And it's just insane how teensy they are. I know I've said that several times, but you really just don't understand until you have them in hand. I felt the same way about this. I didn't realize how small he was until I had him in hand. And these guys are half the size. I mean, maybe not vertically, but materials-wise, like they're easily half the size of the original. But yeah, really cool. I mean, like even these little hinges, look, when they're so tiny, you don't really notice them. They still look great. So yeah, there's HERBIE and Vanishing Point. Definitely, if you have the means and the interest, they're worth picking up. They're very cool.